the news and build a garden. Just my neighborhood and me. We might feel a bit less hardened. We might feel a bit more free.
This is our blueberry patch, 2 Jewel. And we have 2 Rebel. And I'm not sure what this one is, but we have 2 Emeralds. And we also just got a pink lemonade. So that means at least 5 varieties for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 bushes. And some of them are already ripe. I can't walk by without doing a taste test. And over here we have 3 dwarf pomegranates. Our full-size pomegranate has bit the dust. Good thing I bought another one at the Master Gardener tree sale in February. So this is the front yard orchard. We've got the giant birds of paradise with the white and blue flowers. And we have a Groomy Chama tree, which is actually more of a bush now than it is a tree. And I'm hoping that this year we actually get fruit for the first time. We also have a medjool date palm. Our yellow grapefruit tree had scads of blossoms on it. So we already have some fruit starting to form, very small fruit. Let me come in and close up so you can see the beginning of fruit right there. And then we have giant timber bamboo that Sean has cut back to give it more room to grow. And it's taller this year than it's ever been. Here we have the pink lemon, which has the most gorgeous lavender flowers. Do we have any flowers remaining? No. I think we're past the flower stage, and we have little bitty fruit coming. Yay! Beyond it is the tangelo. The tangelo does not have any fruit on it because it hasn't blossomed. I did give all of the fruit trees food last weekend, so I'm hoping that it will be a late bloomer and give us some fruit this year. It gave a heavy crop last year, so maybe it's going to take the year off, like a lot of citrus will. The clementine tree, the little cuties. This is the Asian lemon that we got from Myrna, and I haven't seen any blossoms on it this year yet either, but I know that it blossomed late last year as well. And here we have the apricot bush. It loses all its leaves in the winter, so it's really not in that bad a shape, and it is starting to get leaves for the spring. This is one of our key lime trees that froze back and has regrown from the rootstock. We're debating about what to do with it this year. I think we're gonna give up on it and plant one of the lychee trees here and just go out and buy a new lime tree. But we haven't made that final decision. We might try grafting and see if we can do that well. Juanita has actually volunteered to help us with that. So that would be a fun experiment, even if it didn't work. I am very excited about our pink grapefruit tree. If you look, you will see lots of fruit coming. And I'm going to step over here to show you the blossoms. It's really a shame that we don't have a smell card for the computer because it smells wonderful here. It is so wonderfully fragrant. It smells heavenly. This is our new gate and fence that our neighbor put up. We have come back through the gate for our side garden. This is the blackberry patch that we started last year. These are prime arc thornless blackberries, and the new growth is the primocane, and the darker leaves are the floricanes. So we're going to have hopefully 2 crops this year. The new growth is already starting to fruit, as you can see. I can't wait to taste these blackberries. This is going to be awesome. And we have got blossoms and fruit coming everywhere. This is just going to be amazing, all the fruit we're going to have. And more. And more. And more coming. And more coming. And here are some more coming. This is so exciting. And of course, I always love to have my clover to feed nitrogen into the soil for all the good plants. More and more. Look at this. Just lovely. Absolutely lovely. And all this new growth. It's so exciting. Yes, more. There's more. A volunteer tomato, God knows what type it is, but we have finished preparing this bed to be totally planted out now. And let's go down and see what we've already got in the ground. So far, all we've planted are the perennials. This is the possum purple passion fruit. Say that 3 times really fast. It is really starting to go gangbusters. I bought this last summer when I got the strawberry tree and the 2 lychee trees. And then in February, I bought a second one that is also a red passion fruit vine. This year's experiment is chayote squash. In Louisiana, they call this merlotone. It is a perennial vine that will reach hopefully 30 feet long. And here's a second one that looks even better than the first one. Lots of leaves on this one. And it's growing taller and taller. So the interesting part about this is that you can eat the tender tips. And it's going to grow this wonderful green squash that looks like a pear in shape and is delicious to taste. I'm looking forward to baking little merlotone boats filled with crab and artichoke and cheese and yum. The bleeding heart is in bloom on the outside of the gate, not the inside of the gate, and we've got an iron plant, rubber tree plant. As we come into the backyard, you can see all the new pots that we've just harvested and replanted, both the orange turmeric and the white turmeric. This is an entire pizza pan full of dried, clean, sliced turmeric from the harvest. This is just the orange turmeric. The white turmeric is just sitting and drying right now. This is a bumper harvest. Here's the front of the bleeding heart tree, plant, bush, and the palm tree. And as we move on, there's a camphor tree. And moving back, we see the big banana tree that has bananas on it. This is pretty exciting. Here's a katuk. Pretty healthy. I'm gonna do some divide and conquer with that real soon. This is the strawberry tree. I've come around to get a better angle with the sunlight for the strawberry tree. This is one of the most fabulous fruits that I have ever tasted. As you can see, it's already starting to blossom out. Let me come in for a close-up here so you can see the blossom. It's called a strawberry tree because this blossom resembles the strawberry plant blossom. But the fruit is going to be a deep maroon and taste like blackberry jam. And it looks like in about a month we will actually have some fruit to eat from this tree. And if it's anything like the first strawberry tree that we had at the old house, it's going to give us fruit probably 4 times this year. It's very exciting. And then we have moringa, because we love to grow our moringa. And here's another moringa. Absolutely yummy. And then behind the moringas is the banana. And this bunch of bananas is a small bunch, but I will definitely enjoy every banana it gives us. And then starting across the backyard, we have a yacon, and we have the jacaticaba tree, which is the Brazilian grape. It is a member of the crepe myrtle family, and it sheds its bark just like the ornamental kind. And I don't know how soon we will get fruit from it, if ever. We'll see. I think it is a Sabra, but it was not labeled at Moss Nursery, so it's a no-name jacaticaba. And back there in the back, we have a little moringa that's starting to give us some leaves. In front here, we have the pomegranate tree. It is a pink satin pomegranate, and it's got some new growth on it already. And it looks like it's trying to give us a blossom and hopefully a piece of fruit this year. That would be exciting on its very first year in our garden. And then behind it is one of our 2 lychee trees. This is, now you can see it, the hack ip. And it has actually blossomed. This is a hot type of pepper that survived the winter last winter. We'll see what happens there. This is a sweetheart lychee tree, which is a tad larger than the hack ip, and there's all kinds of new growth, but no blossoms came from it. And I am so excited. Earlier in the spring, we had about 30 clusters of blooms on our Mexicola avocado tree, and unbelievably fantastic that we had little bitty honeybees that flew all around this tree for weeks, pollinating and getting the nectar from the blooms. Of course, it's a young tree. It's the beginning of our third spring with this tree. But we do have just a couple of baby fruit on the avocado. Really exciting. Okay, so I've turned around to show you our awesome fig tree that we did an air layer from the house in Clear Lake City on. It's a purple fig, and it is just healthy and going gangbusters, so I'm looking forward to fruit this year. Too early for it to be blooming. Not sure if the pinecone ginger is going to come back, but this is where it was last year, and I don't see it poking up out of the ground yet, but it's a ginger and it likes warmth, so I'm not giving up. I think it'll come back this year. And we've got Gynera procumbens and a stevia plant, and my macadamia nut infant is trying to hang on. We're going to see. Moving along, we see purple potatoes that sprouted in the pantry. So they're in the ground now. We're going to find out what happens with that. Not sure where we're going to plant it out, but it looks like 4 out of the 5 are going to be healthy enough and maybe give us some potatoes. We've got plumeria. We've got 2 different kinds of rosemary. Don't ask me what their names are because those labels disappeared. We have reseeded red Malabar spinach growing on its own. Our huge lily looks great, and all of the Easter lilies that surround it are coming up and hopefully will start to bloom soon. We did quite a few moringa cuttings. This one doesn't have any sign of leaf now, but maybe it will. So we have to have a little bit of ornamental stuff. We've got an umbrella plant. We've got some sort of plant that Mom loved, the little orange flowers. We have a pineapple that's been with us for several years, so maybe this is the year to get pineapple fruit. This is the second katuk that I started a cutting last year, and it looks pretty healthy considering that we just went through winter. Beyond it are 2 additional moringa cuttings. One is doing great and the other one doesn't have any signs of leafage. So here we have the coral pepper that has survived 2 winters, and I've clipped it back quite a bit. We'll see if it will put on some new growth and give us peppers this year. And beyond that is the sweet baby peppers. It's got red peppers on it already that are starting to grow. And see the honeybee? It likes this sweet pepper. I love the fact that we have bees in my garden. Absolutely awesome. And as I'm coming around, you're probably going to notice a lot of these little lizards. They're everywhere, all different kinds of lizards in our garden. They eat mosquitoes and ants, so we like our lizards. We have Easter lilies, and since Easter's coming up, they are blooming just on time this year, just like they should be. And then we've got the big lily, and it has a pup. The elephant ears. More yacon, of course. I love my yacon. I intend to have more and more and more every year. We are growing comfrey. Comfrey doesn't feed us, but it does mine the minerals deep in the subsoil to feed all our other plants. And so we make comfrey tea to feed them. The split leaf philodendron is doing great. The azalea is about 50 years old, and it is blossoming, or mostly finished blossoming, I should say, because we're already feeling like it's summertime. Moving on, we have mother-in-law's tongue, we have Egyptian walking onions, we have sweet Genovese basil, we've got spider plants in wire pots, we have another yacon, and this is the only surviving raspberry that we purchased last year from Stark Brothers, the same place that we got the blackberries. And I'm so happy that at least one of the 6 lived. Unfortunately, they are out of stock, so I couldn't just get it replaced. So we're going to see how the year goes and take it one step at a time. We have more of the coral pepper here and here. In this pot, we have a survivor. It's a mint. And then this was our Christmas tree this year. Norfolk pine Christmas tree, thanks to my nephew Vincent. Big shout out to Vince. He's doing great. And we miss him because we are quarantined and quarantuning. I started 2 different kinds of runner beans. These are the painted lady. And in a minute, I'm going to show you the scarlets. And over here is a patch of fennel. Yum. I love my fennel. And it's growing really well. Still hanging on from the fall crop, we have purple kohlrabi right here. There we go. Let me come up and do a close-up here. It's almost, not quite, but almost time to harvest this and see how it tastes. This one hasn't started to bulb out yet at all. And this is a rutabaga here, I'm pretty sure. But so far, not so much. We had a very mild winter this year. And these are the scarlet runner beans. Doing really well. Almost time to put them in the ground. So we had a bit of a rainstorm yesterday. It rained almost all afternoon, pretty heavy. And this is our first bucket of biochar. I have inoculated the biochar with worm castings, azomite. I want to give a shout out to everyone that I'm learning from on YouTube. One of the things that we learned was to cut down the banana tree that gave us the fruit, all 3 of them, and then we chopped them up and dropped them all around the remaining banana trees to feed the ones that are here and give us fruit this year. And I also want to shout out to Guy, who's given us orchid plants. And I'm hoping that this year we're going to set up our rain barrels because we're not quite ready to do our cistern for the rainwater capture. Getting closer though, one step at a time. As we come around the corner, we have more Easter lilies. We have 2 Barbados cherry trees that this is the beginning of their 3rd year in the yard. And they're still in pots, but they are starting to blossom. And hopefully they'll be small, but give us fruit. More yacon, the 2nd Barbados cherry, sometimes called the acerola cherry, with a tremendous amount of vitamin C, like 10 times the amount of vitamin C as an orange gives. And more yacon, and hot peppers from Guy, 2 of them. 3 of them, excuse me, 3 of them. And then we have our bicolored Gynera procumbens, our longevity spinach, and our red Malabar spinach, which has reseeded itself and is starting to grow. We left the trellising right here, so it'll start climbing the trellis as it gets started with its growth to the sky. So it is April the 5th, the day after our anniversary, and 4 days until Larry and Patty's anniversary. And the pool is blue and wonderful, and hopefully we're going to go swimming in the next couple days. We would have been swimming already, however, with the all-day rain yesterday and wind and a little bit cooler temperatures, the walrus temperature gauge for the pool tells us that it is only 75 degrees, which is a little too chilly for me to want to get in. I think we'll turn on the heater, and that way we can take a dip. Ornamentals over here. So from the fall, I planted Brussels sprouts. They are not as prolific as I was hoping they would be, but that's okay because there are more. We have a few carrots and some Napa cabbage that went to seed immediately. We have a spearmint that is a Kentucky kernel spearmint, and it's pretty yummy. Gonna get it into one of the bigger pots soon. We definitely don't trust mint in the beds because otherwise it will take over. And I think that this is a Napa cabbage, a volunteer over here from the seeds that came from this plant. We have new bins ready for spring planting. We have another one of the Brussels sprouts that's doing really well. We have radishes and snow peas that are blossoming. Oh boy, it's about time. Snow peas blossoming. This is a Romano Italian pole bean and more snow peas. Here is the healthiest of the Brussels sprouts. More snow peas, a volunteer tomato plant, a volunteer lettuce plant. And over here are two of the Painted Lady runner beans to climb up this trellising. And moving into this bed, we have Mexican key lime. We have two different star fruits that are really going to take off this year and hopefully give us a lot of fruit, because Billy came by and trimmed this giant oak that's in between our house and Karen and Lewis's house, and along the living room windows. For the third spring coming up is our asparagus, alternating purple passion and the Jersey green. And we have asparagus coming and asparagus coming and asparagus coming. We originally planted 39 asparagus crowns that were 2 years old. As best as I can count, 23 of the 39 have actually come up already this year. Some are slower than others, and there are a few that just are poking its head out. One of the purple that's just poked out and in the last 3 days has actually appeared between the clover. Here's another purple right next to it, and they are absolutely yummy. I am so thrilled that they are coming back and coming back strong. In the front corner, we have another bleeding heart, which is different coloration than the one by the back gate, and Easter lilies, and oregano in a pot or two, and parsley, which is doing really well. These are thanks to Guy. We have a cantaloupe and 4 of the White Wonder cucumbers. So every year I do buy my tomato seedlings because otherwise we would never end up with any tomato to eat. But along with that, we have a clove of garlic that sprouted in the pantry. So we're growing, let's see, 9, 12, 13, lucky 13 for garlic. We've got black Krim tomatoes. They already have blossoms on them. This is awesome. Black Krim, black Krim. We have a pineapple here, and it doesn't have any blossoms yet. We have the Juliet, which is a grape tomato here. We have more of the bicolored procumbens. We have sweet potato and an ornamental cactus of some sort. Succulent would probably be a better way to put it. And here is a black Krim doing its job. Check it out. Oh my God, these are my favorites. So we got black Krims with fruit coming. And this is salad Burnett. The master gardener highly suggested it. And what's really interesting, has an aftertaste of cucumber. So we also start a lot from seeds. So this year we have red Malabar spinach. We have some hyssop here. The carrots are not coming up, but they're really old seeds. These are cassava melon, 3 of them, yum. We have Bloomsdale spinach and 1 eggplant out of the 5 that I tried to start coming up. So we have leeks coming, trying to get Everglades tomatoes and carrots, a few of which are coming up. These are older seeds, so it's just hard to know whether it's the viability of older seeds or I don't know. And then we have sesame, black sesame from the MI Gardener. And I've started salsify, snowberry, red orach, horehound, and Chinese lantern, none of which have poked their heads through yet. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Everything is an experiment in my life. These are White Wonder cucumbers, and they're doing really well. They're going to go into the side garden. And these are the Punakira cucumbers that are Indian. I just put these seeds in the ground, and already 3 of the cranberry hibiscus are poking their heads out. And I'm hoping that the rest of them are just slow to get started. Otherwise, those seeds are turning out to be really expensive, kind of like the Everglade tomato that only 1 is poking out. We've got sweet pepper seeds, the little baby sweet peppers. I just put them in dirt yesterday, as well as more of the coral peppers. Every year I do more and more experimentation because you never know what you're going to find that you really like. So I've got marigolds, I've got tree lettuce, green tree lettuce, also called lettuce, and they're popping up. Then I learned that it's a fall crop here in Houston, so we'll see if it can tolerate our heat. We have salad Burnett that I got seeds because I enjoyed the seedling taste so much that I figured I better get more seeds. I'm trying red vein sorrel, salsify, Egyptian spinach, and 11 out of the 12 have popped up for that. So excellent germination there. Golden beets and shiso and marshmallow. And then on the other side, we have baby corn, which is kind of cool. We've got leeks coming up and fennel. We've got milk thistle coming up. And then we have roselle hibiscus coming up as well. So this is very exciting to me. We're going to have a bumper crop in this year's garden. So this is the front courtyard in full spring regalia with the Hawaiian tie plants and the striped dracaenas and the azalea, the double azalea here that's in a pot from Guy. We have so much here thanks to Guy this spring. All these plants in the pots, including the cosmos hibiscus and the rocket fuel and the red something or other. And the jasmine is coming into full bloom. It smells absolutely wonderful, and tonight will smell even more beautiful. And then we've got the giant elephant ears that's growing up, and the variegated ginger and plumeria, and God only knows what all these other things are besides fern, and it's absolutely beautiful in the courtyard. Not everything has to be edible to be gorgeous. Every day brings more progress in the yard. So here's the wall, the blackberry wall. We've planted the Joan J. raspberry, primocane raspberry, and then we've got the volunteer tomato, the Genovese basil, a black crim, another basil, and another black crim. It seems like every day the passion fruit's getting taller, and that's a wonderful thing. Compared to yesterday, this red passion fruit vine has even more leaves. We've got another black crim with its cage around it, and another marigold, and another black crim. And as you can see, this black crim actually has a tomato on it. Oh my God, we've got maters on the way. And moving down from the chayote squash, we have hyssop planted in front of the scarlet runner beans. And there are several of the hyssops, I think 5 altogether. And then the second mirlitone, which, oh my gosh, again, every day it's taller and taller. And we have marigolds planted between the tomatoes. And as you can see, we have the first grape tomatoes on the Juliet. And we have another marigold and another marigold. And this is a pineapple tomato. And it's looking pretty good. And then next to this, we have milk thistle and another milk thistle. Very small, but I think they're going to take off now that they're in the ground. And then we have 3 baby corn plants. I'm looking forward to maybe eating some baby corn. Here we have a roselle hibiscus in front of the white wonder cucumbers, and then in the very front we have Egyptian spinach, and there are 6 of them. And then we have another hibiscus, roselle hibiscus, and then we have more Egyptian spinach, and another Egyptian spinach, and another roselle hibiscus. And that finishes off the side yard, at least for today. We're going to have more to plant, but we're losing daylight, and I'm done for the afternoon. And there's Faro telling me, Mom, and Wilbur is about to mow the lawn. We have planted 3 of the coral vine pepper plants, in the ground here in the backyard. And I know they look small, however, they're going to take off. This is cassava melon, my dad's favorite melons. There's the second one.
I believe that every heart is kind. Some are just a little underused. Hatred is a symptom of the times, lost in these uneducated blues. And I just want to love you while I can. All these other thoughts have me confused. I don't need to try and understand. Maybe I'll turn off the fucking news. Turn off the news and build a garden, just my neighborhood and me. We might feel a bit less hardened, we might feel a bit more free. Turn off the news and raise the kids, give them something to believe in. Teach them how to be good people, give them hope that they can see. Hope that they can see. Turn off the news and build a garden with me. Trust builds trust. All that negativity's a bust. Trust builds trust. Don't you wanna be happy? Turn off the news and build a garden, just my neighborhood and me. We might feel a bit less hardened, we might feel a bit more free. Turn off the news and raise the kids, give them something to believe in. Teach them how to be good people, give them hope that they can see. Hope that they can see. Turn off the news and build a garden with me. Turn off the news and build a garden with me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice one. Thanks. Yeah, we got others.